been a little while. Updates. It's winter here in Melbourne, so I've been tinkering around with a few little updates. First of all, I've managed to find some carbon intake scoops, so they are sitting on there ready to go. Pretty straightforward installation, just stick them in the holes. Secondly, we have got rid of the AirTech air tray and gone with a carbon fiber AirBox. I'm not sure if this is a Bahia Racing one or an XR Tech one, as it was second hand when I got it, but it's carbon fiber nonetheless. Thirdly, we've also added a sensor or two. So in here is a aim throttle position sensor. So essentially, when you turn the throttle, the little sensor rotates and then it picks up your throttle speed. Now it's a little bit agricultural in terms of the end piece here, but it's really sort of a proof of concept thing at the moment, and I'll probably get a better arm made for this part and then something better than the lock wire here, because you can kind of see it flexing a little bit, but you can adjust the sensor to say where the travel is 100 versus 0% without too much trouble, but I will eventually fix that into a little bit more better solution. The other thing that we've got now is also a dry brake fuel system. So this one goes into the carbs and then has another half attached to the tank. Essentially means I can take the tank off without fuel going anywhere. What else have we got going on? Then also in the exhaust here, so in the exhaust now, we have a lambda sensor. So that also plugs into the AIM system. So I had a mate of mine, or a mate of a mate, weld that into the titanium bung into the exhaust, so that will go in there. So we've got a couple of new sensors to add. And then one thing which I haven't got around to fitting yet is the brake lines. So I wanted to run this brake pressure switch here from AIM also, which essentially tells you how much pressure you've got on the brakes. And to do that I needed to get some new lines made up, so I thought, well, why not go quick release titanium as well. So the Hell Australia made these lines up, so yeah, it's a pretty cool little fitting and everything. So I've just got these sitting on here at the moment, but I will get around to fitting them shortly. Yeah, hopefully it stops being cold down here shortly and we can get out and do some more track days, but it's probably a few weeks before, I think September's the next track day down here. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Actually, there was one more thing that I ended up getting made up. The exhaust manifold thingies, which I'll chuck a clip in. So we are looking at the intake. So what we have here is the intake manifold flangey thing that came with that titanium Yoshi exhaust, and it fits into the engine like so. What you can see here is the black line where the internal diameter of this flange thing is smaller than the internal diameter of the engine, where it's all ported and everything coming out. So what I have done is got a mate of mine to make up some of these out of titanium, where the hole at the top here is essentially the same size where this black ring is, and then tapers into the rest of this flange. So the exhaust gases and everything should now have a much smoother path as it comes out of the exhaust. So a huge thanks to Louis for machining 4 of these up. This titanium should be much stronger than the alloy or whatever material this is. You can kind of see the marking and stuff that occurs with, especially on the bottom here, like with these really soft ones that come with the factory kit exhaust or whatever. And these are similar to some other, I'll put a picture on the screen of the other ones that I have off an older exhaust that's had a lot more use, and these are pretty banged up. So hopefully we'll have a much more stronger we'll have a much stronger piece here, and then also the exhaust gases will be able to have a much smoother part from the internal part of the engine out into the rest of the exhaust. To explain what that is, but essentially the one that's in the video is an aluminium one, where the ones that are actually in the engine are titanium ones, so they should make the exhaust gases flow much better. So we'll get it back on the dyno, given the airbox has changed, and the air intake thing, sorry, the intake things out of the exhaust has also changed, so we'll get those on there and see what that happens with the old exhaust. Thanks.